Into map number 2 now between Ryung and Kangho here at the WCS Season 1 Finals in Korea. Starting to the top left, we have the Terran player for Team Axiom. It is
Axiom Ryung from America.
Ryung currently being down one map in the series. His tournament life is on the line here. If he loses another map, then it's all over for him.
Yep. Really important for him. He wants to join his Axiom teammate in the next round. And his opponent down here in the red for LGIM, formerly known as Lysira, now known as
LGIM Kangho from Korea.
If Kangho takes another game here, then he will be facing his teammate. He will go up against MVP in the consolation match. And right now we are in a position where Kangho, of course, had a lot of momentum going for him. But it is the map choice of Ryung, so this definitely gives him a little bit of an edge here. It's a map that he's very confident in to be the Zerg player. But we already talked about the statistics just in general. And if we just look at what Ryung achieved so far in Wings of Liberty against Zerg players, it's... he won the game against Ryung back then, and he took down Moonblade, but it's not a lot of data to go on, so it's very uncharted territory.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, what I'd like to really focus on, I guess, is what we saw in game number 1 in this particular series, because that's kind of the most contemporary play that we've seen from these two players in this matchup that you're ever going to have. I mean, it's the one that we just watched, and it's a best-of series right now, and Kangho, he went for the aggressive build. He went for a build that's... And it wasn't an all-in, it became an all-in after he needed to make that second wave work, but he went for a pressure-oriented build, very, very aggressive. He's taken fast gas again, and I'm expecting to see something similar to what we saw in game number 1 again in game number 2 on this map, because this map is very, very difficult for a Zerg to take multiple bases in the late game because drop play is so strong on this map.
The interesting thing in game number 1 was really for me that the timing was a bit thrown off by this Blue Flame Hellion aggression that we had by Ryung. He did quite a lot of damage there, just moving in and trying to take down as many harvesters as possible. So all the things that Kangho didn't line up as well as he wanted to, but he just delayed the timing and went in, and he put even more force behind it. So he completely contributed to this attack as much resources that he could, and it worked out well for him. We have a bit of a problem here with the overlays. You can see the supply numbers for Kangho are actually to the left, not to the right, so I guess that production is going to switch the overlay numbers here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think that will definitely happen.
Yeah, overlay is going to be adjusted, but just in case that you haven't seen that yet, so don't be freaked out if that's something where you were like, wait a second.
Just rely on the top right for now until that's fixed.
Exactly. Overlord is now moving in and being taken down by the Marines just a little bit. You never want to lose that in the early game, and of course he pays attention to it. But we have now the command center being in plain view here, being moved down to the natural. And let's see how Kangho is going to play this. He actually had a lot of crazy strategies that we've seen in the past by him, and a lot of very aggressive even Roach and Baneling aggression, not only in game number 1, but throughout the entire Heart of the Swarm history in TVZ.
Yeah, you're very correct on that. The Overlord sees everything. He does not know it's double gas. That's the one thing he's lacking, but the gas is a little bit later. But he doesn't know, are you going for fast third command center? Are you going for the upgrades? And he has a second Overlord right now moving into position at the top right. Knowing is everything in StarCraft 2. Obviously good mechanics, good micro, that's going to help you out quite a bit, but knowing that you're going up against a Hellbat drop, for example, which is what he's facing here, is so critical.
He needs to find that out. This is the obligation of the Zerg player, to find out what he's up against. At first, you are usually quite reactive as a Zerg, unless you go for an early Roach aggression timing. We have a third base now coming up that has been spotted by Ryung, but Kangho has to make sure that he glimpses this armor here. If he doesn't know that he's facing a Hellbat drop and he makes the wrong decisions, he could lose the game right then and there, or at least fall so far behind that it's going to be nearly impossible for him to catch up.
A little bit of tease there on the SCV does kill him in the end. Roachborn goes down, and that's going to be, of course, very useful against the Hellbats, but will Kangho hit a timing again? I mean, his build is lining up almost exactly the same way it did last game, and this time he might not get interrupted by the Blue from Hellions, he might get interrupted by the Hellbats instead.
Yeah, I mean, right now we have also... what's important for Kangho here is the Roach Warren that he has. With the Roach Warren, he can at least defend against it, but he doesn't really get into the main base. The Overlord is now gone, and he does also not know about the add-ons that we have here at the barracks, so not a lot of scouting information for him.
Yeah, he has no idea it's Hellbats is coming his way. Didn't see the Hellbats pop out of the factory, didn't see the armory. He has 2 Overlords to the right side. He wants to keep one to spot the third base, and the second one is just not going to be able to get in, not with the Marine there waiting.
12 roaches. This is like one of these knock-knock pushes where you are trying to find out what your opponent has at the front door. The Baneling Nest is also coming in. He's playing now a different variation of the Roach and Baneling aggression, this time on 3 bases, without saturating the third. Big question is going to be when those Hellbats are going to hit, because that could do a lot of damage. But the problem is, if you commit to the Hellbats, it also means that you don't have any siege tanks at home, and you also don't have any Widow Mines. So right now, this could do so much damage, especially since Ryang has still no idea.
Oh, he's gonna see this.
But way too late.
Oh, he doesn't see it actually.
Oh god, it couldn't be worse for him right now. He doesn't even know.
He didn't see the Hellbats either, but okay, now he starts to realize, you know, something's going on. He starts extra bunkers here. Lings are rallied across. Baneling Nest is done. No Baneling speed this time. It's a much faster attack than what we saw last game. Widow Mine's on the way. And does not actually have siege tanks.
That's the problem right there. Those Hellbats that are now being dropped, they are the lifeline of Ryang. They need to do so much damage because he's certainly suffering a lot of losses to the top left now. Kangho is moving in and he's starting to snipe. Could also focus on a few of the SCVs, but he realizes that he can out-DPS the repair. He's moving in, trying to take down that bunker, but he's actually not able to break through just yet because he pulled a few of the roaches away.
Yeah, he pulled the roaches away to deal with the Hellbats. The rest of the bunkers are already decent Baneling hit there on the SCVs. The drop is cleaned up finally here. But Kangho, does he have enough momentum to actually keep pushing this through? Takes out the depots here.
He can take down the depots, and he should be able to take down a few additional harvesters as well. With good micro, he could actually do quite a lot here. He needs to target fire individual units, and he has the next force of reinforcements coming in too.
The Banelings here are the problem, because the Banelings can actually bust down those bunkers. If the bunkers are gone, that's game. Stim is almost done here, and Stim is of course going to give him the extra DPS he needs to fight the roaches. It's all about the Baneling hits. Does he make any more bunkers? Right now he's making one additional one, but Ryang is not, he's not going to have very much time here.
He's surrounding him, he's moving in now. The Widow Mines are trying to move in. Nice targeting here with the Marauders that he has in the bunker. Most of the Banelings are already gone, but here come those roaches. Ryang just has enough to force this back. With the bunker being repaired by all the SCVs, it shouldn't be a problem. But the number of harvesters that he's going to lose here, that is crucial.
Yeah, right now he's down to 41 harvesters against 63 in total. He's killed only 6.
And that's not enough. He was trying to focus on that bunker way too much at the beginning. If you want to take down the bunker, you need to commit all of your forces to do it. Because once those SCVs get the surface area, the bunker will go on and live forever. He could have just used the roaches to take down the SCVs. Pick 3 roaches, and 3 roaches can one-shot one SCV, and just have like 2 or 3 groups of roaches one-shotting SCVs around the bunker, taking down as many as possible. But as it is, that is a brilliant hold by Ryang. The only thing that he lost were a few units and those supply depots at the front.
Yeah, the supply depots, maybe a bunker or 2. He is massively ahead in this game right now. He has 800 resources that he can't spend yet because he lost those depots, so that supply block's starting to annoy him a little bit. But he's ahead in upgrades, he has stim, he has combat shields, and he still has the drop play out. He knows he's not going to be dealing with Mutalists anytime soon.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to be an issue for him, but still, Ryang is a little bit ahead, but to be honest with you, Kangho could bounce back from this. His macro is good enough to make this happen, and he played this behind 3 bases. So with 3 bases, he has an economy that he can make work against it. It's just a question of how much damage can Ryang now do with those drops, and how fast is Kangho able to bounce back. Because I actually think that right now, with the lair tech done, and him heading into those upgrades, he has a great economy here that he can use, and he's taking a supply lead. So if he doesn't fall victim to some sneaky drop that he gets into his main base, then Ryang might be in trouble with the next attack. Because right now, the third base is not even ready for the Terran player. It's not like he got a quick third.
That's true. You know, he had the command star for a while, but he wasn't getting any extra saturation from that. Only the mules and the SCVs, and
he's not mining there.
And Kangho is starting to get those upgrades out. The Baneling speed, the Overlord speed, +1 for roaches, roach speed, and you know the drop was dealt with pretty well.
Yeah, with the quick third, I was of course talking about the saturated third base. Like the command set that he's building right now, we just saw that in production play, is his 4th, just to avoid any kind of misinformation here. So we have him now saturating that third base, but Kangho already had a huge lead in Harvesters right before that.
Ryung doing some damage here against these tumors. Not the best scan there, but decently lucrative as far as creep destruction goes. He wants to see with that medevac, he goes to scout up here the army composition, wants to know if there are any mulas. He's purposely using this instead of a scan because he already just used a scan, and scans are money, so...
+2/+2 coming up for Ryung. He really has a strong army, good upgrades, but the army supply in total goes to Kangho. He still has a lead here, but he also needs to do something with it. You can really see that he just wants to hit the second wave, this time with the speed upgrades and also with the +1/+1, because there is not going to be in transition. And with the Widowmine setup as it is, this is going to be much harder for him to do. There's a lot of Banelings and a lot of Marauders also to face them.
Also the Overlords, and he's going to start spreading creep with those very soon. Overlord speed is done.
Oh! He nearly takes down his own Widowmine. That is something he can't afford to do. He needs to get those shots.
He needs those shots. Here come the Overlords to tank and also to spot. He's probably going to start spreading some creep very soon to help out his speed.
And massive army moving in, and here we go. Great hit with those window mines, doing so much damage to those Banelings. The siege tanks also lending their strength. Kangho is dropping in supply so fast, but does Ryung have enough units? Most of the Marauders are already gone. He still has Marines though, but are there enough to hold this aggression?
That's the question here. Kangho now supply blocked. He lost way too many Overlords. The attack is good. Ryung about to, or the hold is good, I should say. Ryung about to have 2/2 upgrades as well, and
he holds again. And a big problem here for Kangho definitely being supply blocked. He had
Yeah.
so many minerals and also gas, but he could not send in another wave. He has those upgrades, but he's just on a clock now, even more than he was before, because he didn't add tech. This is now all in.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to look a little bit like a one-trick pony in this series. Ponies are cute, but eventually they do grow up.
Well, he just decided that it was just no way for him to transition out of his composition earlier. He thought that his better chances would be to go in that aggression once again with better upgrades, make it work once more. But Ryung, he committed enough to his defense so that he could hold that. He said like, okay buddy, it worked in game number 1, but in game number 2 I will be ready for you. And that's definitely the case. Lings running in, but all those Marines with those upgrades doing an amazing amount of damage.
Yeah, he's got a decent amount of DPS here in these Marines. Really interesting micro here by Ryung. I don't know why he didn't just either fight with all of those or pick all of them up right away. He gave some of those Marines away for free. But Ryung now with a 4th command center, he can move relatively soon. He's got the Widowmine upgrade almost finished. He's going into +3. And Kangho just does not have an army that's mobile enough to deal with drops and also keep his creep alive.
Kangho with a 3rd earlier had the choice of trying to transition or just go for a 2nd wave with better upgrades. He decided to do the latter, and he was welcomed by Ryung with open arms as the Terran player had Widowmine set up, siege tanks on the high ground, a wall at the front, and a massive amount of Marauders that took care of the Banelings and a huge chunk of the Roaches. Now Kangho is down in supply, is starting to fall behind in upgrades, and all those Widowmines, that very mobile force by Ryung, is just forcing him back more and more, even dropping now at the 4th base.
Yeah, dropping at the 4th base, continuing to drop here at the front as well, never stopping the aggression. 4th base here will be saved, but he's just going to go right into the main base. Widowmine's working against Ryung in some ways just a little bit here. But he keeps the medevacs alive, and that's what allows him to continue to bounce between these bases like he's playing ping pong or even like tennis.
Yeah, army supply at this point is now 107 against 65, massively in favor of Ryung, and the Terran army is just making his way into the heart of the Zerg base. That's just...
And even if he cleans up the first wave here, it's just not as efficient. And Ryung has a 4th base saturated now. He's going to try to kill this 4th of Kangho, which has not been used at all.
The defense so far by Kangho is good, but the problem for him is just that he's falling farther and farther behind in upgrades. The +3 attack upgrade is soon to be done, and armor has been started, whereas Kangho doesn't even have Hive, he doesn't even have the Infestation Pit. He can only rely on those units, and they grow weaker over time. It's just a unit composition that does not work.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's a period of time when this works, and that period is past. And just watch him trade over and over again. Ryung, that is. He has Widowmines here on the ground. There's no mutas. There's no mobility. He holds every time, but he's running out of money.
Exactly. He's running out of money, and the upgrades are getting better and better for Ryung. The +3 is now ready any second. That will help the Terran player a lot, and armor being on the way. Widowmines everywhere, and just the production cycles that Ryung is hitting here will help him. He has a 50 supply lead right now.
GG.
GG.
I was gonna say, all Ryung needs to do is just wait for a minute, get all of his armies together, and then he'll be fine.
Yeah, and you need to use a microphone.
I like totally spaced out there for a second. I had my own like homemade mic stand, and I was just talking into it without holding it. And I just thought maybe if I talk to you, everything would be fine.
And I was like, he's suddenly getting very, very quiet. Why is that? Yeah,
I got really excited there at the end. I'm sorry.